I'm Mitch Gallagher. Welcome to the Sweetwater Minute. This time out, a very special guest has joined us, Rick Nielsen. From
Good morning. Hey, Mitch.
Good to see you.
Oh, good to be here for a minute.
Coming in, yeah, for a minute.
Okay, your clock is running.
57 seconds left. We'll talk
All right,
fast.
good.
So you're here doing a recording workshop.
That's what I heard. Yeah, I've been learning how to record
Nice.
and learning how to find rooms to go hide in. So like a typical recording session.
Right.
All the other guys are way smarter than me, so it's like I have to leave the room.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, whatever.
I think you're there.
Okay,
right?
it's
So
good.
You're packing a song today,
That's what I heard.
and they've got a crew of people who've come in to kind of watch and learn from the process.
Well, yeah, including me. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn how they do that stuff.
Very cool.
And yeah, it's a track that the guys that wrote it, they try to confuse me. They put 5/8 time, 6/8 time, and 4/4 time. And I said, well, if they're trying to confuse me, they have no problem. But I figured it out all in 4/4, so it'll be fine, just fine.
Well, I can't wait to hear it.
Well, me too.
So obviously a long and storied career. Well over 5,000 gigs, right?
So yeah, something ridiculous. Yeah.
Wow, 40 gold and platinum records, or maybe more.
Something like that, a little more than that, I think.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. I like it.
So you were an overnight sensation. You kind of started out in the 60s and played in bands around?
I still haven't quit.
Yeah.
I'm too dumb to quit. There you go. There's the info you need.
So tell us about the very early days when you were in bands like
those.
Fuse and some bands like that, right?
Yeah. I'm still the only original member of every band I've been in.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Nice.
All the other guys got regular jobs.
Uh-huh.
Or they're dead.
Well, the last man standing.
Or have regular jobs and dead. Some of those have both things going.
Right.
But I stayed true to being a musician. Mm-hmm. Whether I'm technically skilled or not, I'm still working at it. I'm still working at it. I'm still writing songs, still coming up with ideas that I don't use, some that I do use.
Sure.
And an opportunity to come here to Sweetwater.
Right, it's awesome. We're so glad
I
you're
even
here.
know how to spell it.
Yeah.
How do you spell it?
Starts with an S.
Okay.
So what keeps you excited about making music and doing it after all these years?
I love to tour. I love to play. The traveling kind of blows. Especially since 9/11. I look kind of shady anyhow. But TSA was always looking out for me.
Right.
And it's good. I like for the planes to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
And now with the TSA pre and the global entry and all that stuff, it's pretty good. But so that's the part that I don't like, is just the traveling part, because that gets to be, when I was a kid, you used to be able to fly to California. It was 3 hours to get there, and now it's like 3.5 to 4 hours. Mm-hmm. And the planes aren't slower. There's just so much more traffic.
Right.
And so that. But as far as playing, that's a great thing. I mean, I played with a lot of different people, obviously with Cheap Trick. But I mean, I've done a lot of other stuff. I played with Bo Diddley, Del Shannon, Freddie Cannon, Shirelles, Chuck Berry, Aerosmith, a whole bunch of other people.
A whole long list.
John Lennon. I played with a lot of people, so it's like, it's pretty cool. I'm just some hick from Illinois, sort of like the Hicks here at Sweetwater in Indiana. We're all Hicks.
That's it. Exactly.
It's all good Hicks. So.
Exactly right. I saw a picture of you on the website where you had B.B. King sign your Lucille 3 times.
I did. Actually, he signed it 3 times. Oh, Rick. He's Mr. Rick. He called me Mr. Rick. I knew him really from the 60s. I actually, in the afternoon that I got married in 1969, I played with B.B. King in the afternoon and then got married later in the day. I tell people at least half the day was good. Or whatever, I can't remember which half.
I was going to say which half, yeah.
But I've known B.B. King a long time, and I actually played with him about 2 years ago. That's when I did that. I actually have a video of him. He had me come to the back of his bus, and we chatted a bit back there.
Right.
Good sport.
Yeah, what fun.
Well, it's a Lucille.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got the autograph on there. You look up the pictures, we can find them.
Oh, it's very cool. Yeah.
And look up the video, too.
Yeah, nice stuff. So we had, Alan Douglas was here.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling us the story. I'm sorry, Jack Douglas was here.
Jack Douglas.
And he was telling us.
He's Alan's brother.
Yeah, exactly. I confuse him all the time. He was telling us the story of how he started working with you guys. And I'm kind of curious what your
I would
side of
never
the story
dispute
is.
anything Jack says.
Yeah.
Because when we did our first album, he came in. The line is he discovered us at a bowling alley, and it's true. It was the Sunset Bowl in Waukesha, Wisconsin. He was there because his wife, at the time, was from Waukesha, this home of Les Paul, and he came to see us, and we were signed. I guess that night. So
Wow.
in a bowling alley, that's a good spot to get signed. And we worked with Jack, and we did our first album, and he also did. I got to play on the Double Fantasy record with John Lennon because of Jack, and he also helped us mix the Live at Budokan record, and but for all you other kind of freaks besides music freaks, I stayed with Jack in Montclair, New Jersey, at his house, and Yogi Berra lived next door.
Wow.
And there was a White Castle right down the street, so I mean, it had everything going for it.
Absolutely. So you have obviously a long association with the guitar. What drew you to the guitar originally? What?
Well, I started out as a drummer, and my line is, it's like I'd have to keep getting off the drum set to show the guitar players that I was working with. I didn't really know the right chords, but I knew wrong notes. I was very big on wrong notes, and all these guys would all play wrong notes. So I kept often I'd have to go figure it out because my parents were musicians, so it's like I kind of knew it, and it's like I kept getting off the drums to go figure out the guitar chords and stuff for every song we did. I said finally after a while it's like, it's easier to find a drummer. So we looked for a drummer. I said a drummer is a guy that counts to 4 and starts over 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4.
Right.
It's easier to find a guy like that. So then I taught myself how to play guitar and keyboards, and here I am today, still learning.
Nice.
I can't play the drums at all.
Not at all?
Not really, no. Drum machine.
You gave it up completely. Huh?
I kind of did. I have about 6 or 7 full kits too, but I think they're still in the boxes. I don't even play them.
Nice. So you're renowned for your guitar collecting.
Yeah, I do.
Your guitar collection. How did you get started?
I started out collecting coins and stamps. And my grandmother got me into collecting stamps, and they were called blocks of 4. The corner that had a serial number on stamps. You go to the post office and you get a whole sheet of stamps. It was called blocks of 4. It was the 4 in the corner there. And coins. I like coins too. I used to get all kinds of Indian heads and stuff like that.
Right.
And then before you know it, and stamps from all around the world. That's before the internet, so I mean, you had to write somebody in Germany or something like that, and then get a letter back a month later, and looking for certain stuff, and then as I got into music and started playing in bands. I mean, I was always around music. My parents were opera singers and all kinds of other stuff singing. But back in those days, in the 60s, it's like my dad had a music store too. Not quite as big as Sweetwater, but it was actually a pretty good sized store in northern Illinois. And actually, there's Ralph Nielsen music.
Nice. Still got the shirt.
Yeah, it needs washing, but I got it. But so people back in those days, when they get guitars, or because my dad had a Martin dealership, so he had Martin acoustics and classics, and then around, I'm not sure what year, the mid '60s, Martin came out with some electrics, which were whatever. And but people would, when they would buy guitars, they used to trade in their old guitars, and so and I got guitars from that people would trade in on cars too. They buy a Ford or an Edsel or something like that, and they turn in their guitar, and so I used to locate or go to the car dealerships and see who had what, because back in those days, and people would, like I said, would trade it in, and it was trading in a guitar on a $250 guitar to get a different one.
Right.
And I always liked the used ones, because I couldn't afford the new ones, and I liked the way the old ones looked and smelled. I still do.
Right.
And And then, but when I would get a guitar and I see something else I like, I didn't trade anything. I just kept getting stuff. Well, this Fender here, this sounds neat, but you know, I like this. You know, like they all had something that unique that I would never want to get rid of. Something. It's like buying a computer today or iPhones or whatever. It's like you get the new model and there's always missing something that they had on the last model. You know, why didn't they? You know, and that was the same way I was with the guitars. And so I haven't changed. All technology and all collecting and guitars and phones and everything has changed. But so that's what I started doing. And you know, and another one of my lines is, I'm a musician. I'm supposed to be poor. So you know, it's like, so I you know, I would just buy that stuff. Anytime I had extra money, I would plow it into equipment, and I still do. You know, so now it helped me get a collection, and also helped me. Better than the daily or the payroll savings plan, as I say. And this is a good way to save. And you know, through the years, I mean, it's like I paid $65 for my first Les Paul, and that was in 1965. But it was a 55 in '65, so it was 10 years old by the time I got it. But I paid $65 for it, and now the thing's worth a little bit more.
A little bit more than that, yeah.
Yeah, but I just hung on to it. You know, not thinking of, boy, this is going to be a great investment, because investment means you got to sell. I didn't want to sell anything.
Right.
So now I'm worth a lot, but I don't have any money.
It's all just sitting there for you.
Yeah. Could you blow me $1 so I can get home?
There's no fee for doing Sweetwater Minute. Sorry about that.
No, you're not worth it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Okay. Yeah. So do you
just kidding you, Mitch. Keep your ego at the door.
Yeah, right. So do you have any of those original guitars? Do you still have the first ones that you bought? Yeah. All of them?
Did you listen
to
what I just
heard
said?
that, but I know you've had like 2,000 guitars.
I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Through the years. I mean, the Les Paul that Jeff Beck played, his second Les Paul he ever owned, I sold it to him in 1968.
Wow.
And I think he still knows me too, you know, after all these years. But it's like I was just some guy that collected guitars and wanted to be a musician. And so yeah, I still have my 55 Les Paul, and I still have my 51 white Telecaster that I had back in '68 or whatever it was.
Right. Incredible. In those days, they were used guitars. They weren't vintage guitars.
They still are.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
They didn't have that vintage appellation.
Yeah. The original stinking stuff is real.
Right. So is there a holy grail that you've not added to your collection yet?
Well, there was a holy grail that I was looking for, but then I actually found it probably about 10 or so years now ago. I'd been looking at this thing. It was called a Guild Merle Travis. And I'd only seen pictures of black and white photos, you know, like some ads from way back when, you know, like not ads I saw at the time. But I mean, I looked for about over 30 years for this guitar, and I found one. I found actually the second one. They only made 3. Merle Travis family had one. The second one is the one I got. And when I got it, it was completely smashed, and it had been thrown into a fireplace, and I paid more for that and more to have it repaired than I'd have on almost any guitar I've ever. But they only made 3, and they were $2,000 in 1963.
Wow!
And I actually got through George Gruen. I actually had the guys, a couple of the original builders of it from '63 rebuilt it for me, and the third one is owned by a rich collector in New York. And actually, Pete Townsend had owned the third one for a while. And I had a picture of mine. He says, I didn't like it. And you didn't smash it.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah, but that was my holy grail. I mean, I have out of the 19 Gibson Explorers from 1958, they only made 19. I have 3 of them. And I'm the only guy that has 2 of them. And I'm the only guy that has 3.
That's incredible.
But I collected. You know, I traded stuff to get them back in the day. So you know, it's like what they're worth or what they go for is not what I paid for them. You know?
Sure. So you're also.
And I won't sell them for that either.
Well, I was going to ask if I could write you a check, but all right.
You can. Mitch, you can,
no,
you
I
can write
can't.
checks to me all day.
Oh no, I can't. So you're also known for the custom guitars that you play.
Yeah, I got a few.
Yeah. What is it that leads you to want to make a particular guitar? Do you have an idea?
Because what they had on the rack at Sears
didn't do it?
is not what I wanted. And I always wanted stuff that I couldn't get or couldn't afford or what, you know, whatever. So like I did some of the early coffee table top guitars or graphic kind of guitars ever, and it was before the Photoshop and before silk screen and whatever they do. I mean, I had to have stuff physically handmade for me, and it didn't bother me because I didn't have to make it.
Right.
I had other guys do it all.
Right.
I'd come up with a bad idea and they would go for it.
Right.
So it's great.
The classic
That's
one,
the way to do it.
The classic one has to be the 5-neck, right?
Yeah, that's classic. Define classic. How about heavy?
Heavy.
There you go.
You didn't put a little wheel on the bottom of it to roll it
I
out.
wasn't that smart. Mitch, I need you around when I'm making
See,
decisions.
I have all those ideas, right?
I know. Write me checks and give me good ideas.
Tell you about training wheels for the
Okay.
guitars. That'll be our deal. So you're on tour with Peter Frampton through
Yeah,
the
we're
through
on
the
a
summer.
tour the whole summer with Peter Frampton. I've known Peter for a long time. We have the two biggest and baddest and loudest live albums between the two of us.
That's right.
We're more live than anybody.
You dominate the live
We're just
scene.
live.
You dominate it, yes.
Live at Budokan and Cheap Trick, and Peter Frampton comes alive.
Live, yeah. That's
And
great.
it's cool. We both he and Cheap Trick, we've both been sued by unscrupulous managers too.
Oh.
So we got that going for us.
Yeah,
too.
so you guys got a lot in common as you're
That's right.
out on the road. Well, I hope you have a great tour. We're so glad that you're here.
Glad to be here.
Looking forward to this song that you're crafting in the studio.
It rhymes with craft. Craft.
Something like that, right?
No, it's good. Yeah, it's good. I couldn't understand it, so it's got to be good.
Oh, yeah.
It's like King Crimson without the king.
It's just Crimson.
Something like that.
Thanks for being here. We appreciate
All right.
it. And thanks for joining me for the Sweetwater Minute. I'm Mitch Gallagher.
Minute? That was a long minute.
well, you know. I talk a lot.
Okay, good. Me too.